Well, hello and welcome back to Read Becca. Lovember is upon us. I've already shared my initial announcement and the dates for what the Lovember Readathon is. This is a very casual romance readathon if you've missed that info. So this is all about getting people to simply engage with the romance genre of books because there is an obvious stigma surrounding it, and I certainly fell to that myself, and I have since discovered a love for romance reading. So this is going to be my announcement of the prompts for the readathon. I don't generally host very much regarding this readathon as it goes, so you are welcome to do as much or as little as you want in terms of your own content or engaging in comments. I'm just excited to share with you and get you to try reading some romance books if you haven't before. So please do let me know and comment down below. If you don't have your own channel, I would love to hear what you're planning on reading. So let's dive right in. The dates for the readathon are November 12th through 26th. That's not a super long readathon, but that is enough time to read multiple romance novels usually. So I easily get stuck into a book and escape, and they fly by. So I think you will find that even when you are reading it alongside a much heavier book, it's very refreshing to read romance novels. And that is one of the things I just absolutely have enjoyed in my romance reading journey. So I do have multiple prompts here, but I would encourage you to tailor those to your own personal level. If you are a new reader to romance, or if you don't plan on picking up multiple romance books, I would take these prompts and try to fit the prompts to as few books as possible. So overlap your prompts and challenge yourself in that way to see how many of these prompts you can fit into the fewest number of books or into a single book. If you are a voracious romance reader or you really want to go all out, I would challenge you to pick a unique book per prompt and read one book for every prompt. So that's how you can sort of tailor this to yourself and your own personal reading level. So let's get to the prompts. Excitement. So my theme this year is find your perfect match. And so each of these prompts requires you to answer a question. And that's going to be something that's tailored to your favorites. Prompt number 1 is your favorite quote or lyric regarding love. And that doesn't have to be a happy love quote. It can be about heartbreak or breakups. You know, there are lots of breakup songs out there. For me, I am a mega fan of Ursula K. Le Guin, if you're new here. I reference her constantly. And I'm pretty sure I've referenced this quote before because it's a favorite quote, obviously. This quote is from The Lathe of Heaven. Love doesn't just sit there like a stone. It has to be made like bread, remade all the time, made new. So I'm going to go with the literal interpretation of that and go for a baking romance, which if you've been around, you know I read lots of books about baking. I watch all the baking shows, love it. So this is very topical for me. And in fact, this one was on my TBR last year and I didn't get to it because of the HarperCollins strike. So I'm very hopeful. No strikes this year, please, guys. I'm going to get to Battle Royal by Lucy Parker. I have previously read Act Like It by Lucy Parker and enjoyed that very much. The enemies to lovers element there was so well executed. So this, as far as I understand, is a contemporary, also with an enemies to lovers element, and we're following two bakers who are in competition to bake a royal wedding cake. So that sounds like a brilliantly fun time. I'm so excited for it. Prompt number 2 is going to be your favorite color on the cover. And I'm not someone with a set favorite color, but most of the time I would say it's blue, and particularly leaning toward teal. So for me, I picked a book from an author that I've read before again here, and this is going to be Tessa Dare's How to Catch a Wild Viscount. This is a historical romance, and I should have actually said up front, I did specifically select for a variety because I like reading very widely, and I wanted to get some flavor of different styles of romance in for you. And so you don't have to do that. You can read in whatever niche you like or with wide variety if you like. It's totally up to you. So anyway, this is a historical romance. As far as I understand, we have a young lady who is trying to soften the heart of a viscount who has returned from war, a very hardened man. And so I love that aspect, and I do think, based on what I know from what I've read of Dare's work before, I think that's a character that she can execute. So I'm looking forward to this one. Prompt 3 is going to be your favorite vacation destination. This could be a real world location, or it could be completely fanciful. It could be someplace you've actually been and long to go back to or go back to constantly, or it could be a dream vacation that you long to go to someday. For me, I picked Stone Song by Trisha O'Malley, which you get a clue by the name and the cover probably that this is set in Ireland, specifically in Dublin. I have been to Dublin and absolutely love the city. I long to go back, so I'm really looking forward to this one for that aspect, but also the premise pulled me right in immediately. Even though this is a paranormal romance, which is not usually my cup of tea, I'm very choosy about paranormal romance. However, we are following a geologist who starts to hear the stones sing. And I love that. I love the idea of a geologist protagonist and like Celtic stones. But of course, it being Ireland, there's a fae element and a curse, which as far as I understand, the hero is some sort of protector to do with this curse. So naturally our protagonist gets caught up with this whole fae drama. Love it. I'm so here for it. Prompt number 4 is your favorite holiday or season. And I really had to think on this one to pick, because narrowing that down is really hard. And I settled on my favorite holiday is New Year's Eve. And so I had a couple of good options, but this one, there are 2 covers and both of them immediately grabbed my eye and I was like, I have to read that. And that's New Year, New Planet by Marina Simcoe. Not someone I've heard before, but this is part of a massive series of holiday-based like monster romances. So this one specifically is a sci-fi alien romance. Very cool. So as far as I understand, we are following a woman who is a flight attendant aboard a spaceship or shuttle, and she goes on a blind date for New Year's Eve, decides she's not really up for a one-night stand. That's not who she is. And she thinks she's never going to see this guy again, who is an alien. And apparently something happens that the space shuttle is under threat, and the two wind up back together somehow. So that sounds like a really fun premise, and I don't read a ton of sci-fi romance or romance of this type, but it sounds like an absolutely great time. Those are the main prompts. However, I decided to add a bonus prompt if you're a little bit extra. So I always have a load of authors and series I'm behind on, so our bonus prompt is going to be continue a favorite series or author's work. And I have so many to choose from. That's always the problem here, right? If you, like me, have many to choose from, just pick any favorite author or series. If you are someone who hasn't read a lot of romance and you just participated in this readathon, that means you've read at least one book from the previous prompts, and that probably has started a series for you. So if you enjoyed that series, continue it on. So for me, I think I'm going to continue on with the work of Rebecca Weatherspoon. I have 2 series enders to go to with her work, and one of them is the second in the Rafe a Buff Male Nanny series. Very famous, like everybody's seen that cover, right? And it is what it sounds like, but it's also not, because he is a buff male nanny. He is also like a really mature adult who has meaningful conversations and is very respectful. And that is something that Weatherspoon has brought to all of her work that I've read, and why she is a favorite author for me. So I have either the sequel to Rafe, which is Zenny, who is the heroine's best friend from Rafe. And she's a very prickly character, I think. So I think there's going to be some good steam and some good conflict to Zenny. And it is a contemporary. And then the other option would be the third in the Cowboys of California series, which is a contemporary, but it's also a Western, because we're following brothers who run a ranch there. But it's kind of a ranch in Hollywood, hence the California aspect. And so there is a lot about fame to it, and very often famous people involved. So those are my 2 main options. I have so many others that I could get to. I know I've got a Jackie Lau sitting on my Kindle that's waiting for me as well, and Lau is quickly becoming a favorite author as well. So lots and lots of options to choose from. So I think that is it for the Readathon. We did it. So those are the prompts. I'm looking forward to see what everyone thinks. Please let me know how you feel about the prompts, whether you feel like this is doable, and what you will be picking for your prompts, because I will maybe be adding some more things to my TBR based on what I see people picking up. So that's it for Lovember 2023 announcement and prompts. I look forward to seeing what everyone is reading upcoming. Thank you so very much for watching.